went to his friend's house one day, and over there he gets stuck up in that super cyclone. Okay, so this is the chapter all about what are the situations he is going to go through, what are the problems he is going to face, and how he is going to overcome those situations. In this chapter it is all about that. And the super cyclone which is being described up over here is which hit in Orissa in October 1999, and it killed and devastated. Devastated means destroyed many of the people for 2 dreadful nights, horrible night. Prashant, a young man, was marooned on he was being stuck up on the roof of the house, and on third day he decided that he should go uh, to his to his village, as he has came to his friends out. And now what he finds up over there, what are the things he is going to go through, all these things are being described up in this chapter. The book is Movement. Chapter which is going on, it is 6, Weathering the Storm in Erasama. Got it? Okay, now I'll start with. On 27 October 1999, 7 years after his mother's death, Prashant had gone to the block headquarters of Erasama, a small town in coastal area, some 18 kilometers from his village. Now what is there? On 27 October 1999, 7 years after his mother had died. So after his mother's 7 years of death, he went to his friend's house. Who went? Prashant. He had gone to the headquarters of Erasama. It is a sort of a small town in coastal Orissa, some 18 kilometers from his village. And the distance from his village to Erasama, it was, that is 18 kilometers. To spend the day with a friend. In the evening, a dark and menacing storm quickly gathered. Now, in the evening, what happened? Dark and menacing. Menacing means dangerous. Dangerous storm started quickly gathering up. Okay, winds beat against the house with a speed and fury that Prashant had never witnessed before, and the winds were getting flowing up in such a way, it was having a very high speed, and they were becoming fury. Fury means wild. It was not a pleasant wind. It was not a good wind that seems to be soothe us. It was an unpleasant or a wild wind, you can say, which Prashant had never witnessed before. Witness means he had never seen before or saw before. Wait. Heavy and incessant rain filled the darkness. Ancient trees were uprooted and crashed to the earth. Now what happened? Heavy and insistent mean never ending, continuous. Never ending or continuous, you can say. You can write down the meaning hand to hand. So that it is easier for you. Incessant means never ending or continuous. So the heavy rain, heavy, and it was a never ending or a continuous rain which filled up the darkness, and even the ancient trees, means old to old trees, were also uprooted and were fallen on the ground. Screams rent the air as people and houses were swiftly washed away. And due to this continuous or a heavy rain, we can say the people were screaming. Screaming means they were shouting up as the people as well as the houses were swiftly washed away. Fastly. Swiftly means fastly they were getting washed away. Means they were getting flowing in that water. Okay. Flew away in that water. The angry water swirled into his friend's house neck deep. Now that water, the angry water, why? Because the rain was very heavy, that's why it being referred up as the angry water. Swirl means it started entering up in circular manner into his friend's house, and the depth means the you can say it has came up to the neck length. It was increasing much it can be. Shout, scream means shout. The building was of brick and mortar and was strong enough to survive the devastation of the wind's velocity of 350 kilometer per hour. Now, what was there? The building was the building in which his friend's house was there. It was made up of brick and a mortar. Mortar is a sort of a building material, and it was strong enough to survive that, to hold up that devastation. Devastation means destruction. So, and the speed of the wind at that time, it was 350 kilometer per hour. But the cold terror of the family grew with the crashing of trees that had got uprooted. But due to that, due to continuous raining and continuous wind blowing, the what happened? Suddenly, a tree got uprooted and it got fallen up on their house. Okay, so due to that, in the middle of the night, its roof and wall was damaged. The crazed destruction brought by the cyclone and the surge of the ocean continued for the next 36 hours. Now, what happened? The crazy destruction, the craze means it which has made the people mad due to this, which was brought up by the cyclone, and the surge means tides of the ocean were continued for the next 36 hours. 36 hours तक यही सब चलता रहा. All these things, the continuous raining as well as the wind speed that was blowing away. Okay, although wind speed had reduced somewhat by the next morning, and the speed of the wind somewhere it was reduced by the next morning, to escape the waters rising in the house, Prashant and his friends family had taken refuge on the roof. Now, to get away from that water which has entered up into their house, they all of them had set on the, even the Prashant and his friends family, they all set up on the roof. Okay, Prashant will never forget the shock he experienced at his first glimpse of the devastation brought by the super cyclone in the grey light of the early morning. And he says that Prashant is being described about the Prashant, he will be never able to forget that. कभी भी वो उसको भूल नहीं पाएगा. That sort of situation, the glimpse means एक जो पहली झलक, the first thing which he had seen about this devastation which the super cyclone has brought up, he will be never able to forget that. Okay, a ragging deadly brown sheet of water covered everything as far as the eye could see. Now what happened? A ragging means violent, a violent sort of a deadly brown sheet of water, means all the area in the morning, now it was being covered up with a brown sheet. Brown sheet क्यों? Everything has been covered up into a mud हो गई थी ना पूरे में. So पूरा जो जगह थी, the whole place have been covered up by the brown mud, and everything as far as the eye could see, जितना दूर तक देख सकते थे, the thing that was visible only the that was mud only. Okay, only fractured cement houses still stood in a few places, and in few places only the cement houses were stood, because they were made up of cement. Blotted animal carcasses and human corpses floated in every direction. Carcasses means the dead body of animal, and corpses means dead body of human. Human की dead body को हम corpses कहते हैं, और animal की dead bodies को we used to call them at carcasses. Okay, so this is the meaning. So they were all around floating up on the water. Okay, everywhere there the animals and the human bodies were seen. All round, even huge old trees had fallen, and even the big old trees, the old to old and the big trees have even fallen down. 2 coconut trees had fallen on the roof of their house. This was a blessing in disguise. Now what happened? 2 coconut trees which have fallen up on the house of the, whose house? Tell me, on whose house the 2 coconut trees have been fallen up? So the 2 coconut trees which have fallen up on the roof of his friend's house, so they were being a blessing for them. Blessing for them means in disguise. In such situation, in such sort of situation, it was a holdback, a backup for them, which gave them sort of a situation where they were starving up. I'll let you know. Wait. Yes, Fayed, I'll let you know. Okay? I'll dictate up in the last all the meanings, then you can write. Yes. So what happened? So it was a blessing for them in this sort of situation. It was so because the tender coconuts from the tree kept the trapped family from starving in the several days that followed. And those tender coconuts, tender means those soft coconuts which have fallen up from the tree, have kept them away from the starving. Starving means the hungriness which they may have been suffered from. So this coconut trees have saved them. Okay, the trapped means फंसी हुई जो family, they were all sitting on the roof of that. Okay, for the next 2 days Prashant sat huddled with his friend's family in the open on the rooftop. Now what happened? For the next 2 days they all were sitting on the rooftop. Huddled means crowded. वो किसके साथ बैठा हुआ था? He was sitting with his friend's family. Okay, they froze in the cold and incessant rain. The rainwater washed away Prashant's tear. Now what happened? They froze in the rain. Sorry, due to that cold, continuous raining, they even getting freeze in the cold, and the rain which was not getting end, and the or you can say the continuous rain. Due to that, they have got into cold, and even the rainwater has washed away their tears also, Prashant's tears. The only thought that flashed means blink. जो एक ही बात उसके दिमाग में आ रही थी, that was whether his family had survived the fury of the super cyclone or not. He was very much worried about his family, so he was thinking whether his family would have survived or not, because the super cyclone was totally a devastating one. Okay, was he to be bereaved once again, and will he be able to meet them up or not? Okay, meet them. 2 days later, which seemed to Prashant like 2 years. अब जो 2 दिन थे, the 2 days which he had spent on the top of the roof, so which seemed him like 2 years. The rain ceased. Now the rain ceased. Ceased means stop. अब बारिश बंद हो गई, and the rainwater slowly began to recede, and somewhere the rainwater also started reducing up. Recede means reduce, कम होना. Prashant was determined to seek out his family without further delay. Now, the only thing that came up in his mind, it was that he need to meet his family. Okay? Need to meet his family anyhow, but without getting any of the delay. But the situation was still dangerous, and his friend's family pleaded with Prashant to stay back a little while longer. But Prashant knew he had to go. क्या हुआ? Situation was still dangerous, and his friend's family pleaded him. Pleaded means requested him to stay over there for a little longer time, but Prashant know that he had to go. Anyhow, he has to go only. He equipped himself with a long sturdy stick. No, equipped means he took. उसने अपने साथ क्या ली? एक long sturdy. Sturdy means hard stick. And then started on his 18-kilometer expedition back to his village. And he started his 18-kilometer expedition. Expedition means journey back to his village through the swollen flood water. It was a journey he would never forget, and he says that this is the journey that he'll be never able to forget, that he constantly had to use his stick to locate the road. And he constantly means he continuously has to use the stick to find out the direction where he is going up, and even to find out whether the water is not much deep anywhere, so that he is in dangerous situation. So he took the help of a stick. At places it was waist deep and progress was slow. क्या था? At every place the level of the water till his waist, and the progress was slow just because of the water. Okay. At several points he lost the road and had to swim, and many of the places he even got lost, and he thought to swim up over there. After some distance he was relieved to find two friends of his uncle who were also returning to their village. Now what happened? After a little bit longer distance, he find out two friends of his uncle who were two returning to their village. They decided to move ahead together. अब उन लोगों ने एक साथ जाने का decide किया. They all decided. As they waded means walked. जैसे जैसे they were moving up through the water, the scene they witnessed grew more and more macabre. Means the more they were moving forward, the सिनेरियो, वहां का जो सीन था वो कैसा होता जा रहा था? इट वॉज ग्रोइंग मोर एंड मोर मैकैब्र. मैकैब्र मीन्स अलार्मिंग और डेंजरस से डेंजरस होता जा रहा था. They had to push away many human bodies, men, women, children, and carcasses of dogs, goats, and cattle that the current swept them against. They moved ahead. और क्या आ रहा था? They all were getting stuck up with the many of the bodies of human and carcasses of dogs, which were getting floating up away in that water, or which were coming up in their way. In every village they had passed, they could barely see a house standing, and in most of the villages which they have passed through in that 18-kilometer journey, जितने भी उन्होंने क्या देखे, whichever the villages they have seen, barely means hardly, कुछ ही ऐसे घर थे जो they were still standing up, means all of the things were destructed up. Prashant now wept out loud and long, and he started crying up aloud. He was sure that his family could not have survived this catastrophe. और उसको surety हो गई थी. He was sure that his family now would have not survived due to this catastrophe. Catastrophe means calamity. कोई भी natural calamity हो सकती है. Any of the natural calamity, and the natural calamity which he has faced, that was super cyclone. Okay, wait till here. Anyone is having any of the problem? Any problem is there? Yes, telling you the meaning. You can write it down if any of the meaning you are not getting. Surge. Surge means, I told you, tides. Rise or move forward. The rising water was there, na? That was continued for 36 hours. Next, refuge you are asking. Safety, a safe place. Refuge means a safe place. Any other meaning you want to ask? Then I'll let you know the syllabus. Weighted beta, weighted meaning is walk, walk, walk. Syllabus I'll share as I've shared it up in the starting only. I'll share it up one more time. Then I need to tell you some of the things related to your examination, this UT test. First of all, note it down. Whomsoever is there who has not seen the syllabus or who have entered late, I've sent it one more time. You can have a look. आप लोगों ने everyone, is it you have written it, or either you can take a screenshot also. Then I need to give you some information regarding this test.